We all know that it takes serious consideration for one to arrive at such a decision. That is to serve their country and people selflessly. We know that they are venturing into an area where others dare not tread. We know that they are ready to lay down their lives for the benefit of their countrymen and women. In fact, I contend that to become a warrior is the highest vocation or calling one can have. Nothing I can think of compares or comes close to it.
Abaserikale b'ihanga lya Uganda yaba commissioninga bitarabona.
But you can't do that if you are not medically fit. Even today, if you need any long walking, I can be with you. You can't leave me behind. So, looking after your life so that you remain fit is fair for yourself, fair for the army, and fair for your family. Because it is not fair for us to train you and for your family to educate you, and then the army which has just recruited you, now we find that you are medically unfit now. You will have let us down. Let yourself down and also let us down. So it's very good that you look after yourselves so that you can be able to serve your country for a long time.
Young men and women here have undergone a rigorous training regime since enrolling into the Army 9 months ago. They come from all the districts and regions of Uganda, as is envisioned in the Constitution, which says that the UPDF shall have a national character. We are confident that they have been successfully transformed into effective combat fighters, ready to undertake any military and operational tasks as may be. Your Excellency, the young men and women here also represent institutional renewal, and they are therefore a most welcome and valued addition to the UPDF ranks.
Now, when I came here, the commander briefed me about vandalism of electricity. I had heard about this, that there are people who are stealing metro parts of the electricity transmission lines. But I've already written to the Minister of Energy and directed her to work with the CDF, who can coordinate all the forces, police, intelligence, and the others, so we crush this group of vandalists who are sabotaging the economy. We shall deal with them. They will find solutions to make sure that this does not.
647 army recruits, of which 53 are female and 594 male, have passed out as new, freshly trained UPDF soldiers after undergoing a 9-month training at Camp Rufo Special Forces Command, Ruhengeri in western Uganda. Brigadier General Asaf Mwitise, Commander Special Force Group Commando, thanked the graduates for their efforts showed for the last 9 months on training, as he described them as good warriors who can protect and defend the country.
In his opening remarks, Brigadier General Asaf Moitise, the commander of Special Force Group Commando, first thanked parents who allowed their children to join the forces that keep the heart of the country.
You have been added in your families a good warrior that is not only going to take care of that family, but also take care of the country at large. Thank you for giving us your children who have been very good. Would not call very many parents from everywhere because there are 640-something soldiers, but we minded to call people who are here. That's the reason why the number is small. But thank you for giving us your children.
Kano Masembe, Constantine Brigade Commander 206 Commando, requested the graduates to always be patriotic, serve the people and the nation through keeping the oath and remembering the army values, since they are now well-oriented soldiers.
You are joining us, a unique group of Ugandans who have opted to serve as defenders of this beautiful country, Uganda, the people and their property. In order to remain steadfast in this enormous responsibility, you must keep the oath like the men and women in whose footsteps you are going to walk, by always remembering the army values, that is to say, respect, loyalty, selfless services, duty, honor, integrity, and personal courage.
Josam Taremwe, a parent to the graduate, thanked the president for his fundamental change he ushered in.
Being from zero up to a division level is not a small achievement. That is a fundamental change that Museveni promised this country when he was serving. So I felt a sense of gratitude at my president, at the CDF,
The new soldiers also narrated their endurance after passing out.
I'm so delighted and rich on this day, excitement and joy. It's been a long journey, a tough one, but in God's grace we have been able to do this day.
Ruhengeri Army Training School was among the 5 training schools that passed out new graduates to the UPDF establishment virtually.
School that is Kasese.
Now, police have vowed to block National Unity Platform (NUP) activities until a formal agreement is reached with security agencies. Police spokesperson Rusoke Kituma told the media the decision to halt NUP's launch of its youth elections roadmap stems from a long-standing disagreement between the party and police.
Security personnel deployment around the National Unity Platform offices at Makele Kavuli was, according to police, intended to block the party from launching its protest vote campaign, an initiative police say they cannot allow.
Police is in disagreement with it. And because we are in disagreement, police has taken a decision not to allow it to take place in the interest of public order.
Rusoke reaffirmed the police's stance of continuing to block NUP activities, stating that they do not agree with them. However, the police did not elaborate on the reasons behind this position.
There are always avenues of engagement. The political parties of Uganda, when they have any issues of that nature, are usually advised to reach out to the agencies that take those kind of particular decisions and engage. Yes, that's the position of Uganda Police Force.
Police have also declined to provide information for the arrest of Edward Sebufu, also known as Eddie Mutwe, the personal bodyguard to NUP president. It is alleged that Edimto was arrested by security operatives over the weekend in Mkono district, though the police spokesperson stated he is not yet privy to the details surrounding the arrest.
I have not yet been briefed about the details of his arrest, so I am not in a position to tell you about the arrest, where he's detained, and the charges brought against him at the moment. If I get this information, I will share it.
In preparation for the 2026 general elections, police have embarked on strategic moves to ensure a smooth electoral process. The force plans to review the contracts of the special police constables and recruit an additional 10,000 probation police officers.
Sometimes we can even disengage you at the age of 55, where we feel you can no longer take on physical responsibilities, but we would have given you administrative responsibilities, but probably you are limited by your administrative capabilities.
This recruitment drive aims to boost manpower in anticipation of the demands of the 2026 general elections. Abdul Nasir Lubwama and Rogers Kumagum for UBC.
Security agencies surrounded the National Unity Platform NUP headquarters in Makere, Kavle, preventing them from holding a scheduled youth protest vote sensitization. NUP Secretary General David Lewis Rubongoya told the media the action of security forces blocking the event ahead of the upcoming youth elections interferes with NUP's members' constitutional rights of freedom to associate.
Security agencies surrounded and cordoned off the entire premises at the NUP headquarters at Makere Kavuli. Members or visitors could not access the premises. Several NUP members stood outside the gate. Some of them voiced their dissatisfaction with the actions of the security forces, accusing them of undermining their political activities and rights.
The situation we have found at the office, whereby we had a sensitization session for the youth in the exercise that they are going in for elections, because we are going in the exercise of youth elections. It's so unfortunate that the sensitization, it's not allowed, because on TVs no one is sensitizing. In the communities, we don't see any electoral commission member coming in the communities to sensitize people. Even on the televisions, the sensitization is very poor.
There's no way how a party registered NUP, we are organizing an event at our headquarters, and this has been a weekly press conference that we've been having each and every week. And this is the time police is coming up because we are launching the youth protest vote, and they are saying that activity is illegal, and they are not giving any genuine reason at all.
NUP Secretary General David Lewis Rubongoya addressed the media on the situation at the headquarters.
Like I said, the youth elections are coming up. Right now there's a display of the register. We have invited these young people to come and really tell them about this youth election, task them to go and check their eligibility and vote, make sure that everything is in order. We've been getting complaints already from different parts of the country that there are very many ghost voters in these registers. So these are some of the things we want to talk about, and we are invited to talk about.
Rubongoya revealed that the party had recently written to the Inspector General of Police demanding the return of properties allegedly taken from their headquarters during their earlier security operations. Police had failed to comply, prompting the party's decision to take both the government and the police to court.
We are going to court because the first step was to write the IGP demanding the return of our items. Up to now they have not done that, so we are going to court about it. But even this lawlessness, we are going to discuss and see how to take them on.
NUP youth leader Francis Zake, along with other party officials, said the blocked meeting was for mobilizing and preparing young people for the forthcoming youth elections.
There is an ongoing activity from the EC displaying the register for the voters so that people are able to see if they are voters or not. And it is on that background we called upon the young people to turn up at our headquarters from the different regions of the country, just like how you've been having it at our headquarters.
Rubongoya also commented on the recent arrest of Eddie Mutwe, a close associate and head of security for NUP leader Robert Chagulanyi.
Yeah, our brother Eddie Mutwe was abducted yesterday by heavy armed military personnel. They took him to an unknown place. Of course, Eddie Mutwe is just one of the many. You remember what happened to Achileo, who is now at Masaka prison, Gaddafi, and many of our other people.
Cayenne Faith, Chamil Sekaja, for ABC.
West Nile Parliamentary Caucus is unhappy with the budget process for the 2025-2026 financial year, citing lack of consideration for the region's infrastructural development needs. The legislators say that despite earlier promises from the President and the Ministry for Works and Transport to address the Nebi-Goli Road, no visible progress has been made so far. The caucus calls upon government to address the region's poor infrastructure, as we hear in this story.
The West Nile Parliamentary Caucus has announced plans for a peaceful demonstration scheduled for May 1st, 2025, protesting the region's poor infrastructure.
Whereby we are calling upon all our people along that area of Nebi, Zombo, Vura to join the leaders of that area. We shall march with our cultural leaders, we shall march with our religious leaders, we shall march as politicians of the area from Nebi to Goli to make sure that our concerns are met.
MP Padil County, Isaac Otimigu told the media that the proposed national budget for the 2025-2026 financial year reflects an unequal allocation of funds for infrastructure development, leaving the West Nile region behind.
We feel as people of West Nile that the government's promises in terms of infrastructure development of our sub-region has not been met in the time frame that has been promised. Right now, when the budget from the various committees were read on the floor of Parliament, we feel that our sub-region again has been left out in terms of infrastructure development.
Legislators cite government's failure to act on recommendations made in the previous financial year by the Infrastructure Committee, especially concerning the Nebi-Goli-Paida Road.
While on the one hand we do appreciate the renovation on the Karuma Bridge and the road from Karuma to Pakwach, we are sitting on a time bomb as the people of this country, because Pakwach Bridge is long overdue and it needed to have been replaced yesterday. It hasn't been. Promises have been made, no action has been taken.
The road from Nebi, Goli, Zombo, Vura, 119 kilometers, for over 20 years has always appeared in the NRM manifesto, appeared in the national development programs, but nothing has been acted upon.
Following the establishment of government initiatives like PDM, EMUG and others, also enhancing trade in the neighboring countries, the poor road infrastructure affects access to markets.
Families are not able to fight poverty because they produce and whatever they produce, roads in the garden or roads in the houses because of no market. A road opens the market. You may have the market, but you will not have the road to take the product to the market.
Rebecca Nantongo, Gloria Gutabinji, Parliament.
The Minister for Gender, Labour and Social Development, Betty Amongi, has called for the integration of technology in workplaces, especially in high-risk sectors, to enhance productivity and safety. This was during the commemoration of the World Day for Safety and Health at Work held at the Uganda Industrial Research Institute in Namamve. Minister Amongi says that workplaces evolve and the use of artificial intelligence and other technologies will detect and prevent occupational hazards. Mary Namkose reports.
The World Day for Safety and Health at Work stems from global concerns around the well-being of workers in industries where accidents are prevalent. Speaking during this year's commemoration, Minister Amongi stated the need to integrate technology in work.
AI and digitalization should present opportunity for us to automate our workplace, ensure that this automation targets prediction. How do you predict that there can easily be emergency or accidents? So when we look at technology, let us have the capability of predicting what should be safe and unsafe. Let us monitor, use technology to monitor. Let's use technology to control.
Executive Director, Uganda Industry Research Institute, Professor Charles Kwesiga, called for full implementation of the Occupational Safety and Health Act to enforce compliance.
In our operational paradigm, with regard to operation safety and health, we have to develop and design industrial processes bearing in mind the safety and health of the personnel that will operate the machinery and make the products. We need to develop and make and avail PPEs.
Workers' representatives stressed the need to address mental well-being at workplaces and not to use AI to replace workers.
There are certain high-risk work that robots could do, as opposed to sending somebody deep underground. Maybe we could utilize robotics to help us with that, so that we remove, or in environments that are exposed to toxic chemicals, maybe robots could help us in doing that. So utilizing it for limiting exposure of workers to high-risk environments.
Institutions with outstanding safety records were recognized at the event. Among them, the Uganda Electricity Generation Company Limited, UEGCL, was commended for its commitment to safety standards.
The Ministry of Gender and Labour visited our facilities, especially the power generating plants, and they found that our work safety and health practices were in line with the international best practices. So that's why we have received an award today.
Mary Namkose, UBC News.
National Resistance Movement NRM leaders and supporters from Wakiso district have endorsed President Museveni as the party's national chairman and sole presidential candidate for the 2026 general elections. The announcement was made during a gathering held at Naluvule in Kotido, led by a key NRM mobilizer, Dennis Musisi Damba. Sudat Kaye gives us more.
During a gathering at Naluvule in Kotido, led by a key NRM mobilizer, Dennis Musisi Damba, President Museveni was praised for his able leadership.
And my entire team of leaders from different villages across the entire district have endorsed His Excellency Museveni to be our presidential candidate in 2026, as well as be our chairman of the ruling NRM Mighty Party.
The event attracted NRM supporters, including village leaders, party flag bearers, and members of the Tunga NRM warriors.
Of the East African community, African challenges, addressing African challenges, more so those that are countries that are at war, handling both economic integration and political integration, and trying to create ways of all of us having cheap transport means by rail of our goods and services. We think is the best candidate so that we can continue and finish up the issues that are required to make sure we can have one army and be able to combat any enemy from outside Africa.
The endorsement in Wakiso is a significant boost to President Museveni's re-election campaign.
To become the first East African president, that means enforcing the political and economic integration of the East African countries. is now needed like never before. So even the Ugandan country ourselves, as Ugandans, we wish to see an easy transition or transfer of power where there is no war.
Uganda Human Rights Commission has pledged to defend the rights of journalists and guarantee media freedom ahead of the upcoming general elections. The chairperson of the commission, Mariam Wangadia, says they will ensure the press is free to cover the country's democratic processes without fear or violence. She was addressing the media here in Kampala.
As Uganda prepares for general elections, Uganda Human Rights Commission has pledged to safeguard press freedom. The Commission's chairperson, Mariam Wangadia, reaffirmed their commitment to protect journalists.
It is essential that all stakeholders work to ensure a safe and enabling environment for media workers. The media must never be targeted for doing its work.
The Commission will collaborate closely with the Electoral Commission and other stakeholders to establish clear and visible guidelines, strengthen civic information, and uphold media rights.
Recent events during by-elections highlight the urgent need to safeguard media freedoms through vigilance and open dialogue. Protecting journalists from intimidation is essential to upholding the credibility, transparency and integrity of Uganda's democratic processes.
The senior national project officer from UNESCO emphasized the need for improved communication between journalists and security forces as a crucial step towards building a sustainable relationship and avoiding confrontations.
Journalists becomes even more important during the electoral process that we're entering into. As their reporting on candidates' positions will allow citizens to make informed political choices. Law is therefore committed to promoting constructive dialogue between law enforcement and media, leading to transparency and cooperation.
They called upon all media to be responsible during the elections, which would strengthen Uganda's democratic process.
They are not only exclusive to the Uganda Human Rights Commission, address issues of misinformation, disinformation, and stretching to hate speech as well ahead of the 2026 elections, because we know very well that the potential for these rises as the elections get closer. So, as a Human Rights Commission, of course, we'll be strengthening our civic education intervention in that regard.
Jane Nyiramcha and Juma Nsamba for UBC News.
News Tonight will now take a short break, but we'll be returning with much more. Do stay with us.
It's super fast internet. Oh, it's a super camera. It's a super battery.
One battery phone.
Yeah, it's a super deal. Get the Kabode Super from MTN now at a reduced initial deposit of only 49,000 shillings and pay the balance in Pola for as low as 833 shillings per day. Grab this Super Kabode deal and get 2 GB of free MTN data every month for 8 months. Get the Kabode Super now from any MTN shop countrywide. Everywhere you go, MTN. Regulated by UCC.
The Uganda National Oil Company, UNOC, is wholly owned by the Government of Uganda and was established to safeguard and promote Uganda's commercial interests in the petroleum sector. UNOC has 2 subsidiaries, the Uganda Refinery Holding Company, UHRC, which will hold a 40% stake in the 60,000 barrel per day refinery and manage the development of Kabalega Industrial Park, and the National Pipeline Company Limited, NPC, in charge of pipelines, storage, and downstream business ventures. This subsidiary holds 15% interest in the East African Crude Oil Pipeline, EACOP. EACOP is a 1,445-kilometer long pipeline that will transport crude oil through 10 districts in Uganda to the port of Tanga in Tanzania. UNOC is also actively engaged in crude oil exploration, development, and production activities, and its participation role includes a 15% stake in the Tilenga, Nwoya, and Bulisa and Kingfisher development projects, Chikure. UNOC also holds the exploration license for Kasuruban Block in Hoima, Bulisa, and Masindi. UNOC currently owns and manages the Ginger Storage Terminal and will build a 320 million litre capacity terminal in MPG called the Kampala Storage Terminal. At UNOC, we're harnessing the potential of Uganda's petroleum resources, forging a sustainable future and preserving the natural beauty of Uganda. UNOC, your partner in Uganda's oil and gas industry.
Special announcement from the Baseline Education Census 2025. The Uganda Bureau of Statistics, in collaboration with the Ministry of Education and Sports, is conducting the Baseline Education Census 2025. This exercise will cover all learning institutions in the country for both government and private establishments, namely pre-primary, primary, secondary, vocational, and higher institutions of learning. The Baseline Education Census exercise data collection is being conducted in a phased manner, starting with Greater Kampala Metropolitan Area, comprising of districts of Kampala, Mukono, and Wakiso. The rollout to all other regions will commence at the beginning of second term. The Baseline Education Census collects information on learners, teachers, and school facilities to facilitate planning and policy decisions in the education sector. Uganda Bureau of Statistics appeals to the general public, heads of schools and institutions, as well as the local government authorities to cooperate with the BEC enumerators. In a special way, UBOS appeals to all parents of the learners to support the exercise by availing learners with their correct date of birth, national identification number, and learner's identification number. For more information, please call 0772 933 628 or 0743 787 189 from Dr. Chris Mukiza, Executive Director.
Amazina ganje ninyetekwa Seruhanga John Bosco ninduga mu district ya Rukungiri ndio muhanguzi wa miliyoni 16 na Uganda National Rotary nzahangwire urwo mu kuzana star 278 hash ngafuna message eriko ndio muhanguzi nashemererwa konka nabaza kugira ngo neri y'abafere sente ziriyo zona bakaziteka ko nazihangwire.
Uganda National Lottery. Dream, play, win.
Participants must be 18 years or older. Play responsibly. The Uganda National Lottery is operated by Ituba Uganda and regulated by the National Lotteries and Gaming Regulatory Board.
Welcome back, and this is News Tonight here on UBC TV. Now, Bugere Kingdom leaders have visited the Minister of Gender, Labour and Social Development to meet Minister Betty Amongi and discuss matters of gazetting their traditional leader. According to cultural leaders from Bugere land, led by Mudamba Robert, since 2022, when they elected their Ikumbanya Geoffrey Wayabire, the leader has not yet been gazetted, although they say he receives all benefits for a person of his social status.
Since the time of election of our Incubadia, we have not had him gazetted by the Ministry of Gender. The reason we are here today is to meet the minister so that we get answers from her.
Today we have come to the Ministry of Gender. We have come to demand for our gazette. Our Ikumbanya, who was elected, he has taken long and he has not been gazetted. So we have come today to ask the minister, why is she not gazetting our king, the Ikumbania, Geoffrey Wayabire, Deputy Commissioner, and she really addressed us and promised that there will be nothing which will be done because there is a court injunction. Even if some few people from Bugwere are bringing in some people here that they are the Ikumbania, no, for them they say there is no any Ikumbania who will be gazetted not until we respect the court order. And we expect it to be in the court on 23rd June 2025.
The International Labour Organization estimates that 2.7 million people die annually due to work-related accidents and diseases, and around 395 million workers sustain non-fatal injuries annually, leading to significant physical, psychological and economic consequences. A senior Uganda Mbale Industrial Park has now joined the rest of the world to commemorate World Day for Safety and Health at Work. We have more in this story.
Uganda has joined the world to commemorate the World Day for Safety and Health at the Workplace. Sino Uganda Mbale Industrial Park has organized fire drills and emergency response training exercises for its employees. Workers were taken through practicals to respond effectively in case of an emergency at the workplace.
Any department missing a person, the security department is missing 70 people. Chances are high that maybe they ran away or they are being caught in fire. So what are we going to do? We are supposed to organize a rescue team to go and rescue them. I'm assuming this gentleman of ours was burnt by fire. If I told you if this skin is still on the outer layer, apply cold water. Second degree burn whereby this layer, outer layer is off. What do? The other pink layer is the one you are seeing. Wrap the person with a bandage, okay? And pour running water on that skin, non-directed to the skin. Lastly, I'm assuming he has been burnt and this layer is off, the inside layer is off, and also the bones are seen. That is third degree burn. We said we don't have first aid for that. Cover the person's body and take the person to the hospital.
Among the trained are security officers within the park and representatives from each company operating within the industrial park.
Whenever there is a fire, never run. Don't run. Because whenever there is a fire, people don't even die of fire. People always die of a stampede. Whenever there is fire, never go back before you get clearance by the heads of department, okay?
Uganda Police Force, in collaboration with Center for Occupational Health and Safety (COSH), conducted the training and emphasized adopting the safety skills at workplaces and in daily life to save lives in case of emergencies.
You saw an officer mounting a ladder, trying to check, because you never know, one may be trapped up there, so that you need to rescue that person, or when fire has extended even to those other areas. So before you make up, before you knock off, you have to check and make sure that there is no any threat of fire.
Sino Uganda Mbale Industrial Park organizes such drills to maintain emergency readiness. The park administration has urged all participants to take these exercises seriously to ensure workplace safety.
We don't want such incidents to happen at our workplaces. That's why we always come up with such exercises for awareness, for you to be trained, for you to be aware of what to do in case of anything. We cannot just work alone. We must partner with other people. We must collaborate with other organizations, with other departments, so that we take our safety culture of the park to another level.
Sino Uganda Mbale Industrial Park is home to over 60 factories and employs more than 10,000 workers, including skilled, semi-skilled and unskilled laborers.
We have learned that we, like the security officers and the civilian, we need to be cooperative on this exercise such that we can do what? We can help the victim from this cause.
At least I have seen and have known the procedures to be taken in any case of such an incident. This time, it is now our responsibility to keep on participating in such a event so that we keep ready for such a scenarios.
Sudat Kaye and Senaulia Tony, UBC News.
From Mbale, let's cross to Kasese now, where 50 years ago, Kasese was separated from the then Toro district and became its own administrative unit. Since then, it has developed into a key region in western Uganda, known for its agriculture, tourism, and rich natural resources. Now, as the district celebrates its 50th anniversary, our reporter Ivan Kahwa highlights what you need to know about Kasese district.
It is now 50 years since Kasese was designated as an administrative district in 1974 during the rule of President Idi Amin Dada. It was carved out of Toro district, which was first named Rwenzori district and later Kasese. This move was part of a nationwide reorganization of administrative units to improve governance and service delivery. Kasese district is located in western Uganda within the Rwenzori sub-region. It lies along the border with the Democratic Republic of Congo. Kasese district has 5 constituencies, 1 municipal council, 9 town councils, 30 sub-counties, 195 parishes, and 860 villages, with a population of 853,831. The people here speak Rukonzo and Lusongora as primary languages. Rutoro and Kiswahili are also spoken due to the region's geographical location.
Lakini tukiona mtu yeyote ambao unaweza kuwa haujui unafaa kumstaki.
The 5 constituencies that form Kasese district are represented by Mbale Ferigo, the MP for Kasese municipality, Muhindo Harold Tone, Bukonzo East, Katusabe Godfrey, Bukonzo West, Kitanywa Sowedi, Busongora North, and Gideon Mujungu, Busongora South. The district chairperson is Muhindi Elifazi Bukombi.
We are so grateful to government as Kasese district local government leadership.
The district is home to the Rwenzori Mountains, including Margarita Peak, the highest point in Uganda, Rwenzori Mountains National Park, the Kasese Hot Springs, Queen Elizabeth National Park, several salt lakes, rivers, and various bird species that are essential for tourism.
And the flamingos that visit Lake Munyanyange, they come from Lake Nakuru in Kenya and Lake Natron in Tanzania, where they breed from. They don't breed from here. They just come here for honeymoon.
The municipality is steadily growing with several infrastructure developments that have made trade and mobility of goods and services easier. The construction of the Chikoro-Ngompondo Road is also underway. The main economic activities here are agriculture and tourism. However, efforts are underway to revive the Kilembe mines, where copper mining once flourished. Ivan Kahwa, UBC News.
Thanks, Kahwa, for that story there. Now, Makerere University Chancellor Dr. Crispus Chiyonga has advised people of Kasese district to switch on growing Robusta coffee than Arabic coffee if they are to fetch money in coffee production. Dr. Chiyonga, who is also the chairperson NRM for Kasese district, has said this while giving out Robusta coffee seedlings to the NRM chairpersons for Bukonzo County West farmers to improve household incomes in their areas.
Chairpersons convened at Dr. Chiyonga's office in Lubiriha town and commended him for being a champion in extending projects that target a common person getting out of poverty.
Today, I have received 2,000 coffee seedlings, Robusta type, to start with, to boost the economy of Mbale Town Castle. We are going to start with 12 peasants.
Chiyonga says that Robusta coffee, if well maintained, gives better yields. He said cassava production as staple food in the district can address food insecurity.
Coffee in Kasese is mainly Arabic, but in my calculation, there is more money in
cultivating Robusta coffee rather than Arabic coffee.
Jokas Kabatoro, a youth from Chithoma Kanyasi Town Council in Bukonzo County West, described Dr. Chiyonga as a visionary leader who focuses on agriculture innovations. He appealed to fellow youths to consider leaders with long-term plans by involving in coffee production for a brighter future.
Our leader who comes with an innovation of bringing coffee, of which coffee can make someone survive for decades, I think it's a better innovation. So I would advise the youth to be part of the Honorable Dr. Crispus Chiyonga for his knowledge that he do always bring to the people, that is long-term, not short-term projects.
Charity Marion Imnat and Moses Muthavadi for UBC News.
To Kotido district now, where leaders and local residents of Napumpum sub-county in Kotido district say President Yoweri Museveni and the UPDF have brought relative peace to Karamoja sub-region. Now this was in a community security baraza organized by top security bosses led by the UPDF 3rd Division Commander Brigadier General Wilberforce Serunkuma, Police Anti-Stock Theft Unit Commandant Francis Chemusto. Take a watch.
Once a hotspot of armed violence, Kotido district has seen major transformation following government disarmament operations, including Usalam kwa Wote and a 2023 presidential amnesty. In Napumpum, formerly plagued by mob justice and insecurity, security chiefs held a baraza urging residents to reject crime and mob violence.
The intelligence we have is that the current rearming is not for raiding. Rearming is to eliminate the political opponents. The politicians, they don't have forces apart from you. So don't allow to be used into political crimes.
Can keep an animal, there is no problem, but keeping a gun, don't think a gun is a project. We want you to do any other thing, but the gun has never been a project to earn a living.
We have managed to end cattle raiding. What we are seeing now coming up is some petty cattle theft by a few cattle thieves. So we do not want to see the situation escalate. So today we have a baraza here.
Leaders thanked the government, but urged faster police processing of cases.
Thank His Excellency the President for the disarmament policy and for what we have gone through, both pain and happiness. But I think finally for this year, we are at peace.
Have resorted to fight for peace themselves because they have been held in meetings, and these meetings in their resolutions, they said peace starts with them. And this is why we are all here celebrating this peace. We thank His Excellency the President for the strategic guidance he gave on the disarmament process in Karamoja, most especially the amnesty that is flowing.
MP Ibrahim Loki raised cross-border security concerns, while Chemusto warned against alcoholism.
Between Kaboma and Turkana, there have been some 3, 4, 5 incidents, which even involve communities like Karena, who are not part of them.
2 guns were surrendered, and Brigadier General Serunkuma donated oxen to boost farming.
As you are handing over guns to me, I will as well hand over those oxen to you.
Cayenne Faith, Maureen Iga for ABC.
The founder, Aerospace Sector Uganda, Captain Lubega Olson, has urged engineers and stakeholders to think creatively and develop practical solutions to real-world problems. This was during the Innovation and Aviation Conference at Makerere University School of Public Health.
Captain Lubega Olson has urged stakeholders to think creatively and develop practical solutions to real-world problems in order to promote air travel.
Collaborating with sectors like the health sector, transport sector, internal affairs, security,
airline companies, engineering companies, civil and electrical engineers, to see that we get some innovations, we can share ideas, we can showcase, and we be part of so they can be part of our industry. Challenges we have in our industry is the local market has not yet grasped air travel or air transport. So most of the operators are finding it hard to operate within our sphere, within our local market, because the community or the society in Uganda have not grasped the concept of traveling with air.
Mokasa Sylvan highlighted on the need for Ugandans to embrace air travel and wants government to support the aviation innovation hubs.
By 80% Ugandan products, but the challenge is the 20%. You find this other 20% is very expensive. Securing this equipment from the States or China is quite expensive. So putting these things together may seem a little costly. And at the end of the day, like you're going to see the product out there, it's a simulator, it's a Wama 172. Now, the other challenge after the simulator is put together is getting market for it.
Students appreciated knowledge sharing and insights from industry space.
These great things that happen in Uganda Airlines and maybe the aerospace industry are not so much known to students. So through this kind of occasion where we get to know what exactly happens out there, and how can we engineers who are doing maybe like electrical engineering, how can we get into the industry? This kind of an occasion can actually bridge the gap between us, what we learn in class, and what is out there in the industry.
I'm Bantu Machabese Mambo, Sudat Kaye, UBC News.
Techno and MTN. Together, our flash snap is unstoppable. Grab the Techno Camon 40 series and get free 9 GB of MTN data valid for 3 months. Don't wait. Get your Techno Camon 40 today at Techno stores and MTN outlets. MTN is regulated by the Uganda Communications Commission.
We used to run, but most of the time we were running away from something. But nowadays, everything seems different. People still run, but they are running towards something. They run to test their limits, to break new records. And when we do it right, we inspire others.
The inaugural Coffee Marathon, uplifting rural coffee women, 24th May at Africa Coffee Park, Ntungamo.
Come, let us run.
To register, dial *217 *413#. Choose option 4. Or scan the event QR code, or visit the website to choose the race options. Brought to you by Inspire Africa Group.
Welcome back. Let's have a look now at business news. And former Minister for Foreign Affairs, Sam Kutesa, has commended the individuals who have ventured into innovation to solve the country's challenges. He was launching Wera Innovations, a company that provides solutions for livestock farmers.
Animal farmers in Uganda face challenges ranging from disease, feed shortages to limited access to knowledge and resources. Wera Innovations, a local company supported by Uganda Industrial Research Institute, provides solutions to livestock farmers using indigenous knowledge with alternative medicine through research. The aim is to provide livestock farmers with accessible and affordable solutions to improve their livelihoods.
To acquire some land, we have not yet gained the capacity to acquire that land. We would want to acquire some land, establish the gardens for those raw materials. In the meantime, we would be supporting farmers in terms of quality assurance, in terms of agronomic practices, in terms of to supply us quality herbal extracts, which are raw materials. And at the same time, we would want to involve farmers and other, ordinary Ugandans, like we called it, to give us as much information as they know about this, because we want to engage them, want to engage the farmers who are developing this for. You develop a product, go back to them, ask them how it works, They give you feedback, it helps you to improve it, to bring a better solution for them.
Former Minister for Foreign Affairs Sam Kutesa launched the Wera innovations at Uganda Industrial Research Institute and commended Ugandans who have contributed to the country's development through innovation.
There are those with the knowledge but keep it to themselves. There are those with enthusiasm and they're enthusiastic about nothing. There are those no-gooders who just always plan and hope to become rich, and the same morning, that evening goes, and the following day they are there just hoping to be. But then there is those, he said, who have a combination of both knowledge and enthusiasm. And this is the group that you have here among the Wera. And I want to congratulate you, Mbale Innovations, for the spirit of innovating and of believing in yourselves and actually overcoming a colonial mentality where you are supposed to be inferior in terms of thinking of what you are able to do.
Appropriate technologies, technologies that are affordable, easy to work with, and easy to maintain, and relevant to the environment in which you are working. We tend to rush to get technologies from abroad, only to find that they were designed for something totally different from what you have.
He encouraged Wera Innovations to make use of the innovation fund put in place by government.
These people, what they are doing is the raw materials are here. They have the entrepreneurial spirit. They have labor, which is reasonably priced. They have market, because we have a lot of cattle. I think really what they lack is capital.
Government is encouraging innovations in various sectors for new technologies, products and services that improve the lives of the population and the nation's resilience.
International news now, and the conclave is to elect a new pope beginning 7th May, according to the Holy See Press Office. Now, the cardinals present in Rome made the decision at the 5th General Congregation. It will take place at the Vatican Sistine Chapel, which remains closed to visitors during those days.
The tomb's design reflects Pope Francis' humility and dedication to serving others. His legacy of compassion and mercy continues to inspire millions worldwide. Meanwhile, a special mass was held on Sunday morning in St. Peter's Square, led by Cardinal Pietro Parolin, the Vatican's Secretary of State. About 200,000 people attended. According to the Vatican, cardinals paid their respects at Francis' tomb at Santa Maria Maggiore. As the world awaits a new pope, more than 220 cardinals met at the Vatican today to decide the next election date of the next pope. Only cardinals under the age of 80, 135 in total, are eligible to take part in the conclave, which will begin its deliberations after the completion of 9 days of official mourning for Francis. The cardinal electors, about 80% of whom were appointed by Francis, will cast 4 votes a day until one candidate secures a 2/3 majority. The news that a successor has been chosen will be communicated by white smoke emitted from the Sistine Chapel.
Sports news now, and we're looking at football, and the first leg of the 51st Stanbic Uganda Cup will be played on the 3rd and 4th May 2025, with the return legs coming on the 17th and 18th of May 2025. The semi-final draw for the 51st Stanbic Uganda Cup was held at Kampala Serena Hotel. Holders Chitara Football Club will play the first semi-final away to Vipers at the St. Mary's Stadium, Chitende. 10-time winners Kampala Capital City Authority will host FUFA Big League side Chitaka first. Now the final will be played at the newly opened Kadiba Stadium. The Stanbic Uganda Cup has been played since 1971.
So we have to work hard to see that.
This is a home, and we announced that this will be the pioneer game in the stadium, and at this particular
And on to swimming now, where Formidable Swim Club is set to host their inaugural Masters Swim Meet this Saturday, the 3rd of May, at the Waves Fitness Harbour in Ntinda. They held their press this afternoon ahead of their championship this weekend.
On Saturday, 3rd May, Formidable Swim Club will host their inaugural Masters Swimming Championships at the Waves Harbour Swimming Pool in Ntinda. Over 10 clubs that include sailfish, dolphins and mackerel sharks have registered to participate this weekend. The Uganda Olympic Committee President and Chairperson of Formidables is excited about the inaugural meet.
This is the first time we're hosting this event. We look forward to a successful event. It's going to be unique in a way that it will also be combining some new features which have not been seen before. One, we'll have night swimming. So there will be swimming. We'll begin in the mid-afternoon, going into the evening. 3rd May is the place to be. Come to Waves in Chigoa, because it's not only swimming, but it's going to be also a party atmosphere, akin like the carnival. And we are hoping as a club, this will be an annual event. So this is the inaugural event.
The Formidables head coach and captain said they are ready to dominate their swim meet.
That it's going to be a 5-age difference between the age categories, so that the athletes, the older athletes don't compete with the younger athletes who may have just retired from active swimming.
Formidable Swim Club is not a one-woman or a one-man club. You know, it is a team. Even if 2 or 3 people do not turn up, we still have the capacity to give the other teams a run for their money.
This championship helps the top Masters athletes of 25 years and above to focus on pacing themselves ahead of other Masters competitions this year.
Yeah, I'm not sure if I'll win because there's some amazing ladies in my groups, but I'm going to try my best. Yeah, I'm going to try and beat my personal best from last time, and I'll definitely be competing in the other competitions later in the year.
But also swimming, keeps us fit, keeps us busy. We network, and all in all, it's very good for everyone's health.
The Formidables Masters Swim Meet will have races of all strokes in the 25 meters, 50 meters, relays, and 100 meters individual medley. Marshall Miro Victor, UBC News. Go.
We've now come to the end of our bulletin. Thank you so much for having kept us company. On sign language, it has been Senyomo Yusuf and I'm Rukidi Edward Kijanangoma, wishing you a blessed night.
Inspiring.
The Journey program on UBC TV is brought to you by Blascon, Color Your World.